Okay, it is Thursday, September 8th, 2022. Richland County Board of Commissioners now in session. I'm Commissioner Tony Vero, joined by Commissioners Banks and Mears, our clerk Stacy Kroll, our Executive Director of Youth and Family Council, Teresa Alt. Jekyll and Hyde are not in internet land today, as Mr. Hunnell's decided to personally join us and grace us with his presence. Al's in media land though, right?
Correct.
We have our county administrator, Andrew Keller, and Matt the Thrill Hill from County IT, who's on our agenda this morning at 10 o'clock. Before we go into executive session this morning, we'll go through some of our regular items. Motion to certify the record of proceedings for September 6th, 2022.
Second.
Rivera,
Yes.
Fisher Mears, Banks,
Yes.
Stacy, I signed even though I abstained for September 1st, so these are okay. All right, motion to approve requisitions.
So moved.
Rivera,
Yes.
Fisher Mears,
Yes.
Commissioner Banks,
Yes.
Okay, motion to approve weekly transfers and appropriations with the clarification that the request from Auditor Dropsy's office is appropriating money that have been certified in Fund 104.
Second.
Rivera,
Yes.
Commissioner Mears,
Yes.
Banks,
Yes.
Okay, next up, we have a request from Adult Court Services, just of a vehicle. This is a 2022 Ford Escape. Boy, Pittenger must be living good, huh? Paid for out of grant money. This is non-general fund money. They always do an excellent job of finding good rates on vehicles. So we have that request.
So moved. Second.
Rivera,
Yes.
Fisher Mears,
Yes.
Banks.
Yes.
Okay, that is it for our logistical items. Any questions before we make a motion to go into executive session?
None for me, sir.
All right, seeing to our most favorite part of the meeting where we get to kick the media out. I'll ask for a motion to go into executive session to discuss employment of a public employee.
So moved. Second.
Commissioner Rivera,
Yes.
Commissioner Mears,
Yes.
Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
You're out, Hunnell.
Always happy to uphold the law.
Okay, it is 9:36. We are back in session. At this time, I'll ask for motion to hire Nikita Lee as a service coordinator at a starting rate of $17.43 with a 9-month probationary period effective September 29th.
So moved. And second.
Commissioner Barrow,
Yes.
Commissioner Mears,
Yes.
Commissioner Bates.
Yes.
Questions? Okay, we will recess until 10 a.m. where Matt Hill shows off his fancy new website
Thank you.
because we have a public All right, it is 10 o'clock. We're back in session. Wanted to provide a little overview on our new website. Matt Hill from IT was instrumental in doing this. I think we all agreed our website needed an upgrade. And so I thought it might be a good time for Matt to kind of provide us an overview. And then also he made a suggestion. A lot of county websites have an elected officials directory. It really assists the public. There's same uniform pictures with their biographical information, their phone number, how you can get a hold of them when their term expires. It's something that a lot of counties have. And I had sent out an email to other elected officials and they were very supportive of that. So that was Matt's suggestion. I liked it. But I kind of wanted to talk about that here today. So Matt, take it away. Talk about the new website, then we'll talk about the elected officials page.
1 second.
That
I move those up there.
New guy's father-in-law just died. Hey, expect.
do you want to go over that since you're
He should stop. Spent some time with him yesterday. He's better. Got energy.
Technical difficulties. I was sharing my screen with her so I can control stuff.
How's that going for you?
It's there now. We're there. If we're there. Yeah. Okay. So basically we had went with, we used to host our website here a few years ago. That's probably not the best way to do it. So we went cloud hosted and picked a company to host it for us. A few years ago, we went with a company called Revise. They didn't have the features that we wanted to show you guys and get out to the public. So when our contract was up with them, we went with a company called EvoGov. We just signed with them and the website actually went live July 1st of this year. This company, EvoGov, they have so many other features that we liked. They actually have their own Who's in Jail. We're not using it yet, but that was to come later. So some things will look different, some things won't. Probably one of the biggest things that we have is that we now have the ability to put RFPs and bids on the county website. So companies from outside the state of Ohio can actually log in with their own username and password, put in their bid, and then once the bid is closed, if they submitted a bid, it will email that bid to whichever department gets it. So if it was IT at the end, we would get an email saying, hey, these people put in bids. We can't see the bid until afterwards. So it kind of keeps it legal and stuff. So
You missed the window. Does it email them at the
yes, it does.
close?
It will email them if they sign up for that alert. It will email them whatever time we have set. So if it's 4 p.m. today at 4:01, an email will go out or a text message will go out to those companies that put in a bid. I'm going to jump back to the home screen real quick. But so one thing we wanted to do is kind of just make it a little bit more user friendly. So this company, EvoGov, they love mega menus, and that's what this is that you see on the screen. So you see our public administration, health and social services, properties, all the different departments that is actually using the county website. Now, some do have their own website, like our engineer.
Adam Go's always got to be special.
Yeah. Is he in here? No. But yeah, so some departments do have their own website, which is fine. We just link right back to their department. So we also added like a how do I, so you can apply for a job, adopt a pet. Other things that we have with this is online applications. So Missy over at the dog warden, she has a login. If you want to adopt a pet, here's her form. You just fill it out. You can submit your driver's license or any kind of legal documents that she needs from you. She gets this in real time. So as soon as you hit submit, she'll get an email or a text message, depending on which one she wants to pull up, that there was an application out there. We're going to do this also for job applications, and those will go out to whoever in that department needs it. I think they come here though, right? No, depends. Yeah. We also kind of want to highlight probably our most used pages, and that's where these 5 tiles right here come into play.
Would the tiles change based off of usage, or who determines, hey, I guess, do they change with use statistics?
Yeah, like we use Google Analytics to see who clicks, how they click, what kind of phone they're using, things like that. So we will move this around after about 6 to 8 months. Once we get some real good data on this new website, we'll start using that. We can't really use the old data because the website was set up different. So this way, we'll just leave it like this, go through everything, and then if we need to make changes, we'll make changes. If other departments aren't getting the clicks or the hits, might have to do something else or get with that department to see if they need more information on it. Because some departments put everything out there. Some departments just say, hey, call us. So it's kind of hit or miss on departments. Here's our 3 knuckleheads. And this is why this is one thing that I wanted to highlight, and the reason why I want to go with pictures that are the same for every department. As you can see, all 3 of you have different picture up there. And this is why we're wanting to do that. Kind of just make it, the same. And we did a lot of research on this. Actually, Sherry Hyde and I basically spent 4 months of nothing but going through every kind of government website, local government, so counties, cities, and villages, just seeing what they had, what they did. And we didn't look in Ohio. We looked all over the United States. So Florida, California, we did everybody, trying to figure out what we wanted and what would different ideas on what we should.
Prefer that you do what Florida does.
And we don't want to do what Florida does.
We don't want to do what California.
But yeah, this is why I kind of mentioned, let's get some elected officials, department head pictures, get a professional photographer in here to, get that done for us. It's well overdue, to be honest with you. Even going back to when we hosted the website here 4 years ago, pictures haven't changed. Tony does not look like that.
I'm much more handsome
A
now.
little bit more bald. Kind of a new thing that this also offers. There's nothing in here because I really haven't with this website. I can allow people to do their own thing. Probate court's only the real department that I've let have a login and make changes to their page. But you can also do news articles. So when Ohio State beat Notre Dame the other night, Tony could have made a news article about how sad he felt. And it would have went out to the county.
Well, that'll come in handy when Ohio State plays Toledo in a few weeks.
Yeah.
Ohio State goes down to the Rockets.
Yeah.
That's big news.
So we could put that out there. Events and meetings. I have commissioners meetings loaded. That's the Zoom link, the meeting ID. So it's there for the public. All they do is just click here. It loads this page. It gives the location since it's a public meeting. But here's the Zoom meeting link. You click on it and it'll pull up the Zoom window, and you can type in the meeting ID and participate. So, and you can also download all the meetings as well with the iCal.
Very interactive.
So, and that was kind of the whole point of this company, is everything is interactive with them. You can see this is our current who's in jail. This will change slightly.
Can we Photoshop your head and put it in there?
No, don't do that stuff. Another thing is they had a preloaded job opportunities page. And this is a lot cleaner than what it used to be. Companies or people can come in here, click, download the job application, look at the description. They can see the dollar amount, things like that. This will automatically pull down too. So when a department has a closing date, so like these ones right here on the far right, on 9/16, this case manager job posting will come down automatically. Before we were having to put calendar reminders in there to go down and pull these out of the website. Again, this collects, this will collect applications once I have the online application done. And then, like I said, it will email or even text message the person on that other side. So whether it goes to Kelly Christensen or Stacy or whoever needs to get it, they'll get an email or a text if they want. This takes you to these 5 menus here. This takes you to our county alerts page that we launched about this time last year, I think. Shows everybody how to sign up for that. We also have a public info request. We haven't had any come in. Checked that this morning. Stacy actually gets these in her email. And then Stacy will go log into the county website and
Carl bypasses that and just calls us because he's fancy.
Now that I know that's there, here come the FOIAs.
left and right. With these, they can be, the only ones that are mandatory is like a phone number. Name is not mandatory.
So here's the thing though. I don't want to go legal beagle here, but that information under Ohio law isn't necessary for a public records request, as Mr. Keller can attest to. Any person can walk in and say, I want a such and such, such. And if it's a record that needs to be turned over, it has to be turned over.
Mhm.
So there's other means of requesting it, but you may want to get with the prosecutor's office on retrofitting that request because it's not necessary to submit. They don't even have to be in writing. I know this is an option.
No, this is just an eye.
Right. Or you may want to put a disclaimer, hey, your
It's on here.
requests are always available via the commissioners or at your office, a disclaimer.
Yeah, this is actually copied from the form,
What form?
form RC 100 and 101.
Yeah. But,
Well, not mandatory.
It says not mandatory.
Help us.
all right.
Yep, and that's straight off the form. The only thing that's pretty much, it depends on if they want it mailed or something like that, or if there's more questions needed, like they didn't put enough information in there and you need to ask them more information. The only things that are required is address and phone number, and the date and the department that they're looking for, just like on the form. How old is that form?
Years.
Years?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I said, Hunnell just bypasses everything and just
We're going to have to smack his hands, right?
At least 15, I say 2007 was when.
I'd have
Let's see, I think, put that together.
I prefer to use the form that provided by the Attorney General's office, Sunshine Law.
That's kind of the website in kind of a nutshell. We do have our communities page, which has cities that are in Richland County or touching, the villages, townships. If they have a website or a Facebook page, I did try to link it to that. Townships are kind of hit or miss.
I just sent you the pictures in our boardroom too, even though the 179, the planes are gone, but in case you want to add those to
Okay.
the webpage as well.
No, these are just ones that I grabbed from our previous website.
Right.
Also, let me pull something else up here.
So Matt, where would the photographer, would he just come into the building, throw up a green screen?
Yeah, that's what, do a green screen with American flag in the background.
But But with the green screen, you could change it if you don't like it, correct? What do you think? Seem to be warmly received.
Well, somebody like you that has a picture that's taken 15 years ago, you won't mind having an updated picture. Would you?
Here's the, Tony wanted to show you Delaware.
Yeah, this,
Yeah, so that's Delaware County. That's where we kind of modeled our,
yeah,
see how it affect, anyone who wants to know where any elected official, they can go. Here's their picture, here's their contact information. It's very convenient.
yeah, I kind of like how they did it. Coral Gables in Florida, they have a good one too. Theirs is a little bit different because it's city.
Who's just got a different background.
So what I suspect is they probably brought some in and either you could submit your own or you can take yours. And maybe we give that option. Maybe elected officials, it saves on money. I mean, I would like one for consistency purposes, but if you want to submit a photo, you could do that, right?
As long as it doesn't, as long as it's not a selfie at
Right. Well,
Magic Mountain or Six Flags or Cedar Point, something like that.
We got a new EMA.
Roller coaster picture. The thing is
just
that,
Top Thrill Dragster.
yeah, not no more. One of the other things that this does is it allows for newsletters to be done. Probate's going to start doing one, so you can actually enroll and receive it. Here's the portal that people can subscribe to, and like you can see on here, you see bids and RFPs. They can subscribe to things, so it has its own built-in portal for the outside to use. So if you put in a bid or an RFP, this is where they would go to do it. I don't think there's any bids or RFPs. No, there's none out there right now. Another thing this can do, and citizens can send concerns through this as well. So like for the dog warden, if there's a dog running around, they can submit a request and they can geotag that location where they saw that dog. And take pictures, send the picture to the dog warden to let them know, hey, this is what the dog looks like. And I last saw it here, and it will send all that information.
Can't access this yet, right?
Oh yeah, this is out there.
When would that
How do you get to that?
I'll put, well, anytime that you go into, yeah, not here. Trying to find. I'll put a link on the page, but usually right here, you can go click here to sign up for future bid notifications. Here's
all right.
here's what they'll do. And it kind of pre-grab some things, but you hit update profile. And then this is my profile right here. So if I had subscriptions, so here's all the departments I could receive any kind of a notification from. They're all in here.
if somebody did report a dog, take their picture and the whole work, that go directly to the dog warden?
Yeah, Missy gets an email and a text message. We haven't had any yet. She has had adoptions though, come through here.
Where does the tourism take you?
You see that? Oh, I haven't built that yet.
Tourism?
Yeah.
Okay, so right now you click it, it won't go in.
You probably will just link that up with the destination Mansfield,
Yeah.
downtown Mansfield.
No. There'll be links on there for them, but no, this will be separate. Can't do that kind of stuff. Come on, man.
So I think the elected official is a good idea. I think we do kind of what Delaware did. If you have a picture that you would like to submit, great. If not, we'll bring in a photographer. If you want an updated picture, I'll get with you and kind of that. We can speak. I know you had sent that quote. He's a pretty well-known photographer, local guy, does a good job. You can check. I checked out his website to see his work.
All those that you had on the screen, they're all our official departments,
Yeah,
but tourism is not.
I'm building it right now.
But we don't have a Department of Tourism for the county.
It's just the way it is on the website. the way the website, you build groups, departments and so on. It's just
Okay.
not for your eyes.
Okay. Okay.
It will make sense once it's on the website. One thing that, and I'll show you what Missy sees real quick. If we had facilities, we could book it. This would probably be more for Jason Larson, because I think you can book stuff out of that.
Can you book Longview?
No,
Public cannot, no. I think the way Jason's set up is he's allowed to,
Oh, for the public. Okay.
yeah. Just kind of want to show you what so in here is a different forms. Here's Missy's application for adoption. So this is what Missy would see. And she just goes to submissions, and here's applications. So she had one this morning come in. So you just click on it, you get that person's name, address, phone number, all the information that they filled out and things like that. She can download it in a Excel so she can see everything. And that's how she bases her adoptions off, just like if you were to fill out the paper form. And they have the option to download and handwrite the paper form as well. So this is kind of the things that we wanted to do with the old website, but we're never able to because Revise just couldn't do it. But that's really kind of the website and kind of in a nutshell. They all kind of, depending on what you're doing or what you're showing, they all have their different stuff. So CAMA data for Pat's office. These are files that some people download.
What is that? Can't like that.
It's a file, and then people, I'm not a GIS person, but I think it's stuff that they use for like
Parcels.
parcel data and things like that. Or they can go to Pat's County thing through Beacon and look through there. So like I said, there's a lot of different things that departments can do on here. And we're allowing each department to make their own changes. I've only trained Jocelyn Patton in probate. She does the most. They get new forms and stuff from the Ohio Supreme Court almost daily. So she'll go in here and change out the forms, make it look a little bit different. She has all of her pricing in here. If you need an estate form, you just click on estates, administration, and then here's all the forms. You can download them. These are all fillable as well. So,
Well, Tony, I agree with having the picture page of the elected officials. And I would recommend to them that to keep it consistent, to go with, get the new pictures.
So I've heard from Go, Ferrari, Sarah Davis, Judge Robinson, and Judge McKinley are all supportive and would like to do it
okay.
for the reasons we discussed. It makes it convenient for residents or people from out of town who want to, hey, how do I get a hold of such and such? Boop, right there. There's your elected officials page. There you go.
I mean, you're public officials anyway, so having your face out there.
Well,
Even though we're small,
we give you the option of submitting, so like, I'll do some other ones. You can Photoshop models onto your picture or something like that then. I'll do Christian.
Daryl's head on Arnold's body.
You'd be jealous.
All right, Matt, I'll work with you. We're cutting it close. We got a 10:30, but I'll kind of work with you, but it sounds like this is something we want to look into. Again, we'll recommend to the elected officials that they kind of use the photographer we bring in. But if they have a picture they like, as you can see on Delaware, it looks like some just said, that's the headshot. I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
Looks like most did get but it looks like the coroner submitted his own.
Or
Prosecuting attorney submitted her own. The recorder submitted her own. Looks like it's a glamour shot there.
Well, ours would be a plan.
Sarah wants to do this, so I don't know. But yeah, the recorder looks like that's a.
or they got elected after the photo was done, and maybe that background.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It could be several things.
Okay.
Who knows if that photographer was busy at that day?
Any quick questions?
Yeah, Matt When talking about the website itself, what kind of traffic are you getting in terms of page views, unique visitors? Down, flat? You made the change in
It's a lot higher. I did not look at my Google Analytics this morning. We get about 20 to 50,000 clicks every month.
you say clicks, we
Page views, yeah, sorry. And like I said, Pat's office is by far the busiest. But you have businesses and local people hitting that one. But yeah, it does fluctuate. I mean, just like any other website, November, December, it basically flatlines. Like everybody's busy with shopping and stuff like that. And so it kind of drops in that month. But once tax time comes around, treasurer jumps up big time. Pat's office jumps up. Tax map, their department jumps up. So it kind of just depends on the part of the year, but it will get really high. But yeah, we average about 20 to 50,000 depending on the month.
any idea how many unique viewers that is?
I can get you that.
You said the single biggest traffic page is who's in jail?
Well, Pat's page is first, then who's in jail.
Property page.
But yeah, Pat's main page is the number one clicked. He's actually 5 of the top 10 pages. So, so even his sub pages in there get a lot of hits.
Bill is number 2.
Who's in jail is number 2. Kid.
It makes sense. There's a lot of people, like I said, attorneys are always using it.
It does get a lot of views.
Most of the people coming to Pat's particular homepage, are they then clicking to get through to property transfers
Yeah,
or property?
not transfers, but to the property. Yeah.
I mean, I'm in there every day with being on land bank and other issues. I mean, I'm in the property search page daily.
Yeah. It's
So-
like I said, it seems to be, not this page right here, Carl, but this is the page that has them all laid out. But yeah, Pat's by far, I've been tracking the county website for about 3 years. And it's always consistently the highest traffic.
When did you guys launch a website?
I've only been here for 3.5 years, so I'm not sure. I believe it was in the 90s, I believe. I'll double check with Sherry Hyde.
The company that's now hosting EvoGov, where they based?
I believe Denver or outside of Denver.
Who was the previous provider for them?
Revise. Revize. They're out of Michigan.
What is the county? What are you paying EvoGov to maintain the site?
9,600.
Annually?
Yes. That's on a 3-year.
A lot of this stuff has to be entered by manually. You're taking care of that.
Yeah. Especially if there's any like coding that needs to be done. It's basically the CMS is like Word doc. Anybody can do it. Just go in there and type your stuff in and save. But if there is any HTML or anything like that, IT does that part for the department. But most of them just get plain text, and you don't want to get too fancy. You just want to make it work.
You do have an agency like the engineer's office that has its own website. Are you just putting a link to their website?
Yeah. So here's my county engineer. We've always had this little blurb on here for him. And then here's the link to Adam's actual website, and it loads it right away. And it's the same for Common Pleas does not use us, neither does Domestic or Clerk of Courts. Probate, I don't even think. Yeah, Probate had their own website, but they came on board with County IT and switched their website to us when Kelly got elected.
What I needed.
Al, any questions?
No, I don't have any questions. I just wanted to point out, I don't think Cliff or Daryl need to change their pictures. They look very distinguished in the ones that Matt showed. Tony,
that's
on the
okay.
other hand,
We asked for News Journal pictures to send their good-looking correspondents and or reporters, and somehow you were omitted. So I don't know what that means. So,
well, that's understandable.
so they just submitted a black screen for you, Al, so you couldn't see your face. We'll
That's
take
fine.
we will take a brief 5-minute recess and come back. Thank you, Matt.
Welcome.
I'll get with you on that.
Okay.
Morning. All right, it is 10:35. 10:35, we're back in session for our last appointment of the day. Before we head out to Shelby, we are joined by Kelly Christensen and Rachel Troyer in Human Resources. And we're here to discuss health insurance rates. Sebco was here last week. We knew rate increases were coming. I've done a little bit of math now that I've had some final figures. But we'll turn it over to HR for their discussion.
Go for it. Okay. Well, we did receive the final number and our increase for 2023, our portion is 6.7%. That seems rather steep, but yet when you look at the whole picture, we actually came out pretty good compared to a lot of the counties. Just to remind the commissioners, over the past couple of years, we've had 0 to very little increase. So we've been very lucky when it comes to, our insurance. Of course, Sebco has also helped keep the numbers down as well. So with that in mind, we are here to discuss what the commissioners' options are. And because of course we can't change that 6.7%, but we do have numbers. Thank you, Stacy, for putting everything together of what we're looking at with funding monthly as a total. And then she also did the general and non-general fund and what that would look like as well. Do you guys want me to go through those numbers or do you have?
So what, she's talking, every year I prepare the, like the premium rates, the employer and the employee. Different unions have different language. In the past, Job and Family Services has a max increase of $8 per month in their union contract. And previously, the commissioners have made that same change for non-union employees. So that spreadsheet I sent you, it has the full funding rates, it has the non-union JFS tab, it has the union tab, which most of their language is no more than $5 a month. The engineers union language is 10% of the premium. And last year, Children's Services did that, but that's up to their board. If you consider such an increase, I assumed the board would want to increase the employees' premium by that per month. So I had sent that last week to the board. So that's what Rachel's talking about. That was a working document proposal, but since that increase is going up,
What's
that's
weird too, if you look at the rates and actually plug them in, the rates out to about a 6.3% increase. If you actually plug in the rates, I know what that's going to do to our costs, but it's hard to reconcile with Sebco saying it's going up 6.7%. But then if you actually, like I said, plugged in the rates that Stacy gave, did you guys see that right? Was I looking at that right as well? If you look at last year's rates, let's just look at low deductible. The yearly total is 9192.96 on the non-union side, and this year it's going up to 9809.04. That's a 6.28% increase, right?
but if you combine them all, does it go to that 6.7?
No, I showed 6.28 really across the board. But I mean, that's neither here nor there per se, but I'm just.
No, I saw your email with that figure. I didn't do the math myself.
So we have increases though that are exceeding the caps.
Well, yes. So in years past, I know that when we've had no increase, the board, even though you have had the option to increase the cost to the employee, often elected not to do that. And Stacy, I'd have to defer to you. I can't tell you what that's been, but typically if the county as a whole does not have an increase, then you do the same thing for the employees. But in terms of when we do have an increase, we aren't able to
increase the employees' contribution at the same level that we are experiencing the increase. There have been caps in the union contracts. Actually predates me negotiating contracts. So, I mean, 25, 30 years, probably these caps have been in there. And the spreadsheet I gave you there with the color, I didn't know if that might be something we wanted to, just to give you a sense of what the language is in each contract. Because of course it's slightly different in some of them. So some have $5 cap, some have no cap, but it amounts to $5 because the intent of the language is that it can't increase any more than anyone else's. And then many years ago, at one point, we looked at starting to increase that $5. And JFS was the next contract out of the gate. So they were increased to the 8. And then the board at that time elected to not pursue an increase in any of the other contracts. So we haven't up to this point. So that's something else, not for everybody this next year, but we can look at in the future. If you think it's time to start,
Curious as to why solid waste and health department are on here?
I took every contract that I had.
Because I say those aren't
No.
departments we oversee.
Get an idea. Well, and so here's another reason I did that. If you notice some of the language and it's a little bit different in each one. That a certain union group will pay the same amount for what the county commissioners and other county employees paid from the general fund pay. So, depending on different groups, one union might look at, who makes up the majority, for example. So I just wanted you to have it all there right in front of you when we talked about this. So as you're making your funding decisions for this next year, what the increases will be, and then also moving forward, if you want me to start considering that when I go to the bargaining table, I have one I'm getting ready to start next month. So if we want to start looking at that, they're the next ones up.
Well, if we're talking about the task at hand, right?
Yes.
We have increases going up. I say, increase can go up in accordance with the contract up to caps unless it's less than what the caps say, right? So let's say it's going up $6 and the caps say $8, it only goes up $6. Conversely, if it goes up $6 and the cap says $5, you can only go up. So my thoughts are to increase both union and non-union in the same manner as we have done in the past, right?
That's what the board wants to do. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I would say we'd ask for a motion that the premiums increase in accordance with the costs as provided by SEBCO, as long as in accordance with the caps provided for in the CBAs with similar treatment to non-union employees.
Second.
Mr. Barrow,
Yes.
Mr. Mears, Mr. Banks.
Yeah.
Now, just for your guys' knowledge, I went back and tried to figure out, and I'm sure Stacy's all over it better than I am, but I took 2019, 2020, 2021 general fund. And when I say general fund, this would only be our general fund health insurance premium line item, which is 536500. Okay. Last year, that line item was basically $4.129 million, 4,129,675. Now, if you look at the average so far year to date, we're on pace for $3,860,273 million. Again, that's just average. Now, if we just say, okay, we're going to do the same as 2021, we are looking at anywhere projection wise, $250,000 to $260,000 increase in the general fund insurance costs off of the 6.38%. These are my projections. It's less than what we had initially thought at the 7%.
Right.
So we're getting a little more clear on our projections. But it looks like our health insurance costs are going to go up by $250,000. And by ours, I mean the taxpayers. The sales tax going down, insurance is going up. That's just something to think about. I don't know if you're seeing the same, Stacy. If you agree with that, you could tell me I'm crazy and I don't know the math. But that's sort of what I'm looking at and seeing.
Yep. Accurate.
$250,000.
And the reason that we're going to 3.8 this year over 4.1 something last in 20 is you think that's because we got a few less people working and people are not as many families or.
I just took the average through July, Daryl, and then multiplied it by 12. Yeah, I mean, that could be it. Yeah, I mean, that's what you're thinking in your head, obviously. And if you look at through July, I even did a July through July comparison and we were a little lower. So I suspect we'll probably come in a little lower, but I just wanted to say, hey, if we stay the same as 2021, it's going to cost a little more. If we do a little better in 2021, obviously it'll cost a little less. But regardless, I think it's going to be $250,000.
Now, do we need to decide if we're going to ask the negotiations to try to get other people up to the $8? We're 5 now.
Actually, I'm up here next week to discuss the next round of negotiations and executive session, and I figured we'd talk about it then. I just wanted to throw out there that might be something that we look at.
Looking at $5 increases, $60 on the year.
Well, and we haven't, that $5 has been, I mean, I'd have to pull all my contracts and look, it's been in there forever,
Yeah, for
a long time. It started at 5 and it has stayed at 5 with the exception of JFS. So it's time probably.
Have fun with that.
Always do.
Okay, questions?
Yeah, you said you'd looked at 2019, 2020, 2021 general fund. Line items, and you gave a number of 4.29 for 21. The other numbers for 20 and 19.
I'll give you, and again, so I pull these numbers, Carl, from our financial system and it's just straight. It's our health insurance line item within the general fund budget, okay? So 2019, 3,392, 772.35. 2020, 3,453, 353.32. 2021, 4,129, 675.35.
You projected or you did an average speed, it was supposed to be 3.8.
Yeah, so if you take through July, average that and multiply it by 12, that would come to 3,860,273.28.
Do the math on a $250,000 increase off that number, it's 4.05 for 2023, which would actually be less than you paid in 2021.
Correct. Now, if you go off of 2021,
2021 is a major increase over 2020.
correct.
What was the good reason for that jump? $700,000.
I'll let the HR folks answer that.
Was it enrollment? I mean, our
Yeah.
rate didn't go up.
So I can tell you, actually, I can give you those answers. We had more people. Daryl's right. We had total enrollees. This is general fund. Our average was 277. Right now, our average through the year is 258.
Would you repeat how you started saying that?
So if you look at enrollees, Carl,
Yep.
in 20,
The part where you said Daryl was right.
you were. I would equate it at a 20,000 foot level without drilling into, but that makes sense, right?
We are low employees, right? I mean, they're
Yeah,
close.
I mean, our average right now enrolled in the general fund I show, and it's why I asked for these numbers, right? There's a reason. Our average is 257.5, so 258. And in 2021, the average was 277.
And that adds up.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely does.
And then I'll bet if you divided it per enrollee, which I have, and you do the math, that's what it's gonna come out at.
Yeah.
Al, any questions?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, seeing no further business, we will adjourn at 10:50.